dealing with difficult situations with showing no emotion. Because I know most of you are probably out there partying. Party, party, party. I don't party. I don't party anymore. I just don't. Where does the time go? Where does it go? And now let's get into episode 165. What is happening, TwT fans? It is so good to be back on this June 1st, 2023, and I'm so glad to have you all back here with me. Can you believe that half the year is over already? Woo! God. Where does the time go? Where does it go? Well, before I get into anything today, I need to say thank you. Thank you, everybody, for subscribing, for sharing. I appreciate it so much. Keep it all up. If you're new to the podcast, hit that subscribe button, all right? It's free for you. This is not free to do, so go ahead and click that subscribe button. And then, of course, if you want to get more involved with the podcast, talkinwithtopher at gmail.com. That's where you send your emails to. Yeah, that's right. You got a story to tell? Send it over. Type it out. Audio, video recordings, send them on over, keep them under 60 seconds, and send them to the official email of the podcast, talkinwithtopher at gmail.com. And are you enjoying TwT? Well, go ahead and copy this link tree right here. Copy the link tree, share it, all right? It's the easiest way to share this thing and to help me make this podcast bigger. I need your help. So go ahead, copy, share the link tree, or if you're just stopping by, click the link tree yourself. It's the easiest way to have access to everything TwT by clicking the link tree. And half the year's over, everybody. Half of it. Can you believe this? Absolutely incredible. Just time is flying. There is no stopping this thing. You know, it's crazy. If you actually think about how crazy time is and how fast it leaves us and what you actually get done in a day is actually sometimes pretty impressive. I do have to say I have better days than most. I have better days than other days. You know what I mean? Everybody's got good days and bad days. Some days you don't do anything at all. Because why? Well, for me, I'm always so busy, during the week that I really, really do look forward to doing absolutely nothing on a Sunday. But I have to make time to record for guests. I have to visit family. And guess what day that falls on? Well, it's usually Sunday. So usually 7 days a week, I'm pretty damn packed. And I do have to say it leaves no time for a lot of goofing around or nothing to do. But because of that, time just flies. There's never enough of it. I'm up here recording now, and I've literally got 45 to an hour to get this entire episode recorded. And then I have to take care of the dogs. We got to do grocery shopping lists. There's restocking of the fridge. There's so many more things to do, not to bore you with my to-do list on a Saturday night, but because I know most of you are probably out there partying. Party, party, party. I don't party. I don't party anymore. I just don't. I do the ons. I got some nicotine pouches. These things are amazing. I love the coffee one. A coffee pouch with coffee in the morning is my go-to now. It is just awesome. It's awesome. And it's nice to find these type of things as you're quitting your vices. And now that I'm over a month away, or separated from vaping, I'm just trying all the pouches. I'm not, Rogue's nice. I'll give it that. I absolutely, hands down, love the wintergreen. I think that one is absolutely fire. It's so good. It is just absolutely amazing. But it doesn't go with all beverages. It does go great with water, and some of the flavored waters that I have. But the coffee on pouches with a cup of coffee in the morning, woo! It's heaven. It's heaven right there. And it finally got me to let go of the vape in the morning, you know what I mean? Which has been tough for me. I do have to say, when I have a stressful day, I'm still looking for it. But, I have so many pouches in the house now that, like, I'm not like, oh, I'm going to go get a vape. It's, no, you've got pouches, stick one in your mouth and tough this out, because it's just your brain telling you that it's something that you need, right? And I don't need it, just like I don't need a drink of alcohol. But every now and then my brain goes, well, what are you thinking? And I go, no, that's not what I'm thinking. I mean, I'm thinking about it, but at the same time, I'm like, no, I don't need it, right? Because you don't need anything, truthfully. You need water, you need food, right? You need clothing that helps with environment, temperatures, and you need a roof over your head, right? Those things you do need to survive. But I'm not talking about surviving. I'm just talking about your everyday, every hour, every week, whatever. The things that we don't need are the things that we want the most, right? Drugs, alcohol. Why is drugs and alcohol separated like that? You ever wonder about that? Why does it do that? Drugs and alcohol. What do you mean? Alcohol is a drug. It's a very powerful and dangerous drug. It can kill you. Marijuana can't kill you, but yet, right? It doesn't make any sense. So why do we always say drugs and alcohol? Is it just because alcohol's legal? So we get to separate it because it's better than? You know what's really interesting to me, right? As marijuana gets more and more legal across the country. Oh, and by the way, psilocybin. 6 districts, I think it's districts, have legalized, no, let me correct myself, decriminalized magic mushrooms just as of yesterday, which would be May 19th, 2023. Salem, Massachusetts decriminalized magic mushrooms, or psilocybin fungi. However you want to say it, I am so excited. This is amazing. This makes sense to me. It grows from the earth, therefore it shouldn't be illegal. If it's man-made, it probably should be illegal, right? I think so. And I do have to say, like, a lot of the newest strains of marijuana and the higher potency strains of marijuana are manipulated by man. But it took plants, 2 plants, 3 plants, flower, seeds. You really had to manipulate those. And then they did what they did in nature as they grew, right? I don't consider that to be man-made. Now, Delta 8, that's man-made. There's a state right now, and I'm gonna totally forget what I was talking about in a second. I know I am, but this is so much fun for me. Was it Montana? No, Montana banned TikTok, and now the TikTok creators are suing because they're having their content blocked in that state, which means they're losing revenue. So that's going to be an interesting case. But the Delta 8, is it Tennessee? Marijuana is illegal in the state, but they are are opening up the doors to Delta 8 with restrictions, and the hemp industry is backing them. Now, I'm not sure what state that is. You just have to look that up in so many words. Put it into the Google. It'll tell you. But that's exciting, right? They won't legalize marijuana because they're stupid and fucking ass backwards. It's fine. It's fine. You can be backwards. You can be stupid. It's fine. But you should legalize marijuana for those people. Okay? You're stupid. You know, I always thought a dry state was stupid. And I don't think a dry state's stupid anymore. I still believe that alcohol is a awful poison that is unnecessary. But again, I can't drink. So what is my opinion, right? But bias, completely and absolutely bias. I know. But I was going off about the psilocybin mushrooms, which I think is amazing. It grows from the earth, and so does marijuana. So those things should be legal. Plus, I know there's a lot of people having psychotic breaks. They're having too many dabs. They're having too many edibles. And they're having problems with marijuana. And we're also starting to find out that marijuana is addictive. No shit. It's a fucking drug. And if our brains have endorphins firing, you can get addicted to those endorphins firing, therefore causing an addiction to a substance. So all substances are or have the possibility of being addictable. But still, to this day, just smoking pot. I'm not talking about driving. I'm not talking about doing dangerous things. I'm not talking about anything except for sitting on your couch, smoking pot, eating edibles. Still hasn't killed anybody. Just that alone. Not combined with something, not doing something stupid and being high. I'm talking about just the simple fact that you have gotten out of work, you have nothing in your system whatsoever, you go home, you sit on the couch, you smoke a fat number, and then maybe you want to do it again and again and again and again, so you do until you go to bed. Still hasn't killed anybody. Now, there could be a bunch of the stuff that I said that I wasn't using, for example, that it possibly could have, but it hasn't killed anybody. Psilocybin mushrooms, I don't think that's killed anybody. Yeah, can you have a psychotic break? Can you have issues with them? Can you go over the deep end? Yes, I believe all of that to be true. Can psilocybin be addictive? I don't think so. I do not think so. I have never met anybody, and this is me personally speaking. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I don't fucking know, right? But most of the people that I talk to that use psilocybin go on a major journey or are going on a major journey only do it a couple times. And some people only do it once a year. Some people go on a massive journey, figure out their life, and never go back to it. I like to microdose. I like to take a little bit, maybe a quarter, half a gram, let the lights turn on a little bit, let sounds get a little bit louder, let everything be more a little bit more receptive. And I like that. It gives me a little bit of an edge. It makes me feel like I'm focusing. It really makes me feel good. The feeling of happiness just overwhelms me. I personally do not enjoy big trips or going over the deep end or going on a journey or seeing and saying hello to like aliens or something. Like, that's not my idea of a good time anymore. It used to be when I was in my 20s. But I still never found it to be addictive and or to have killed somebody. Now, again, if you did something stupid, you were driving, you were just being, you know what I mean? You think you can fly. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can understand that. But you can't blame the mushrooms for all of it. You just can't. I'm sorry. And I know this might be a little off or a little rude, to most of you out there, but I personally, even if the thought of flying came into my head, I still know height, right? Like, you're not tripping on mushrooms or high on marijuana or even drunk. Now, the only difference between adding in alcohol to heights is that you lose your balance really easily. So, being high up and drunk is actually pretty goddamn dangerous because your equilibrium is technically off. But not with marijuana or mushrooms. Not even remotely close to it, because, like, I mean, I've been up on a roof, high and enjoying it. I know exactly where I am. I know exactly the distance before I get to the edge. I know, you know what I mean? I'm paying attention to all of those things. And on mushrooms, I feel the same way. I'm not like going up on the roof and then going as close as I can to the edge and thinking like that you can fly. But so I think that those things should be legal 1,000%. I find that even though they might have some issues, or some people will have some issues with them, it doesn't mean you get to say that nobody gets to use them. They don't have any medical use, or they don't do any good for anybody. That's not fair, right? I can't say that about alcohol. Well, you shouldn't be able to say that about marijuana or mushrooms anymore. This game is over for you. This drug war is stupid. It has caused more pain and suffering and done more damage than it was supposed to do, and it was supposed to help. Well, who did it help? I'll tell you who it helped. I know who it helped. Right? It's easy to know who it helped. It helped the government. It helped the cops. It helped all the military. That's who it helped. And it just helped because they got money from it all. Well, we're keeping drugs off the street. No, you were snagging up the drugs and selling them yourselves. Right? You were doing it yourselves. So you just used a law to benefit yourself, just like they always do. So that in itself is just frustrating and makes me angry. But I mean, seeing this state, or seeing Salem, Massachusetts decriminalize mushrooms the other day was just awesome. I was excited because I knew Colorado fully legalized it. And I knew one other state was decriminalized, but I didn't think it was going to start catching wind, and it seems like it is. It's slowly, but it's not going state to state. Now, I don't know if I'm wrong, but I probably am. Did marijuana ever go from district to district before a state legalized it? And in the beginning, because if it did, then I guess mushrooms are taking the same road. But I'm just excited for these new changes. I think this is way better. I think everybody should have access to everything. And you have to be able to determine what's good and bad for yourself. But for us telling everybody this is bad for you or this is good for you, that should be gone today. That's like telling somebody they can't do a keto diet, or they have to follow the FODMAP diet. No, I follow the FODMAP diet, and I have friends that do keto. Keto doesn't work for me, right? There's a lot of stuff in keto that can mess me up. There's a lot of stuff in the FODMAP that can mess me up, but the FODMAP gave me more of a variety of things to choose from, and then you got to pick and choose from them. Nothing is made for one person today. Absolutely nothing. Something else that I was thinking about this week was dealing with difficult situations with showing no emotion. You ever had to do that? I'm really bad at it. I'm really, really bad at it. I'm trying to get better at it. My position asks that of me to do this in a sense. Like if somebody asks me a question and I don't know the answer, I'm not allowed to say I don't know the answer, right? I'm not allowed to do that. So I have to listen to the question, go through my Rolodex, and then see if, I can actually answer the question. And if I can't, I got to come up with a way to avoid the I don't know or I'm not sure or whatever. I can't, in my position today, not have an answer for something, in a sense. And I know that this is true in my everyday life as well, is that sometimes you have to make a decision based upon the information that you're given. And sometimes it's a really tough decision to make. And I have a real problem shutting down emotion. People can usually tell. People can always tell when I'm lying. That's for sure. I mean, I am the world's worst liar. I wear everything on my sleeve. I was never good at it, which is why a lot of people never used to tell me secrets, and I just wasn't good at lying. I would try really hard. I was one of those people where, like, let's just use this silly example, but right here, see this in my hand, right? And I go like this, and I put it in my pocket. And somebody would be like, I just watched you put that in your pocket. I'd be like, I didn't put it in my pocket. No, I don't have anything in my pocket. I didn't put it in my pocket. That's what I'm talking about. That type of lying. That obvious. Yeah, you literally just put it in your pocket. You know what I mean? Or I just watched you take that and put it under your shirt or whatever. But I would blatantly lie about that. I would be caught, and I'm still telling you till I'm blue in the face that I didn't do it. So I'm not very good at hiding my emotions, right? I'm not good at lying. I'm not good at any of this. And I'm not saying that what I'm doing for my job is lying. What I'm saying is that I kind of, yeah, I'm going to look into that. You know what? Let me look into that for you, and I'll get you a definitive answer. So I have to do things like that today. And sometimes I find it a little difficult because I have a problem with lying in general now. When I got rid of alcohol, right? I told all of you about how when I had friends that didn't want me drinking, I just wouldn't hang out with them anymore. I would just find ways to be like, I can't hang out, I can't do this, I can't do that. And that's because I'd rather be drinking than being told I can't drink. So once I got rid of alcohol in my life, I all of a sudden had absolutely no reason left to lie about anything. And it was like, as marijuana progressively got more and more legal, well, that's another thing I never needed to lie about, right? Why would I need to lie about marijuana now? There's no point to it. It's basically legal. All of that changing today, right? And things being the way they are, and now alcohol being out of my life, I'm just like, well, I mean, I really got nothing else to lie about, talking with my therapist and other things, and, lying leads back to drinking. So, which is why I was like hesitant about not saying I don't know, or, maybe saying, let me get you a definitive answer. Because I'm not lying to you, but I literally am not allowed to say, I don't know. I have no idea. You know what I mean? So when I'm doing those things and I am making these tough decisions, I have to do it so that people still see on my face that I know what I'm doing. And I do find that hard. I mean, there's plenty of other decisions I've made in my life that have been very, very difficult. Obviously, not hanging out with certain people because they still drink, or just not hanging out with people because they're just not good people. I mean, those are probably some of the hardest decisions I've had to make, because some of the people I really enjoyed being around, it's just we had nothing in common anymore. And what are you going to do, But I do also miss a lot of my friends that, before COVID, I mean, we were hanging out, and now I don't see anybody, and we need to get back to that world, I think. We need to get back to when everything, when everybody wanted to hang out and do something. What happened to that? Has anybody else noticed that, like, yeah, sure, you're out more, you're doing things, but it's still not the same? It's wild to think about. But not showing emotion is difficult for me. It really is. It really, really is. I show it all the time on here, but I'm allowed to, I show it all the time to my friends, my family, my wife, all these things. And over time, it's gotten easier and easier to even almost forget about why I was always lying. Because even though the truth hurts, right? It does. It's painful. That's why nobody wants to hear it. But the truth also sets you free. It really does. It really does. It's amazing how free I feel knowing that I have nothing to lie about, It's a nice feeling, and I wish more people could feel what I'm feeling. If you're dealing with a lot and you're hiding everything, I mean, that is the hardest way to do something. I find it's been so rewarding to just be open and honest with everybody. It doesn't matter if it hurts their feelings or not. Whenever you lie to somebody to protect them, you're not protecting them. No, you're making it worse for them. Just remember that, because it's so hard. It's so easy to forget that you're like, oh no, I don't want this person to know about this because this is going to hurt them. They need to know that. Maybe they need to get hurt because that's how they grow. So whenever you're hiding something or lying to somebody about something to protect them, definitely think in the back of your mind, how are they going to react once they finally do find out the truth? And would they have rather heard it from the source itself or from you? And if any of those answers are yes, then you're hurting the person, not helping. Because sometimes people need to be hurt or let down in order to grow. And if you stop that from happening, I mean, what if that situation just gets worse? And you could have stopped it, but you chose not to because you were trying to protect the person. So I think of those things now. Everything is now, everybody. 6.5 years later, finally having some clarity in my thoughts. Well, it's summer. That's right. It's here officially. And you know what that means? We got to go to Slow Down Clothing. These guys have it all. Shirts, hats, you name it, they got it. I mean, they got new stuff all the time. It's amazing. The collection keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. Look at all these new designs to slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. That's right, slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. Where are you getting your summer gear this year? Huh? Where are you getting it? Let me tell you where you're getting it. You're getting it where you can save some money, and I'm going to help you save some money this year. All you have to do is put in the promo code. Huh? That's right. TOPHER. Put that promo code in before you check out, and it's going to save you an extra 10% off your entire purchase. It's time for the beaches. So get your towels, get your swim shorts, and don't forget about all the rest of the great stuff that you can get from this amazing website today. Not only do they have clothing, but they've also got kids' tees. They've got skateboards. And I mean, so much more. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. This website just keeps growing and the selection just keeps getting better. So remember, go to slowdownClothing.bigcartel.com today and let TWT save you some money on your summer gear this year by putting in promo code TOPHER before you check out for an extra 10% off that purchase. You can only do it here. Slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com and let TWT save you some money today. And I'm back. What's happening, everybody? I hope you enjoyed that. Go ahead, check them out. Go put in that promo code. Save yourself some money, all right? Amazing, amazing clothing. I mean, they got so much more to offer. It's I love my sponsor. I thank Slowdown so much for sponsoring the podcast. It's awesome. It's awesome, and I thank them so much for sponsoring the podcast. But now it's time for Topher's Topics. All right, so let's get into some topics today before I gots to go. My first one here is I thought this was a fucking joke, okay? I thought this was a joke. We were watching the Memorial Day episode of Letterkenny. Oh, and speaking of TV shows, before I get into this first one, what's up with American Idol, all right? By the time you see this, it will be over. But last week, when I was watching it, we were watching the top 5, dropping it down to the final 3, right? And why did nobody pick Way? Why did Way get knocked out? Why? I'm sorry. Colin's okay. He's okay. He's not that great. Megan was definitely one of my picks. She's awesome, and that voice is fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. Ian, I mean, I guess if you want to hear Hawaiian songs all the time, I mean, I'm sorry. I did not think he was American Idol material. I understand the loss of his dad is tough, and I mean, I'm sympathetic towards the loss of a father and everything else, but every song, it's him and the guitar, and it sounds like I should be out at a luau. Colin has got the same country voice that everybody else has, and I was really upset. I wanted Megan, I wanted Way, and Zachariah, right? The guy that flipped burgers, just rocking it out on stage constantly. I mean, absolutely fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. Guy used to flip burgers. Then there's a tornado that goes through, rips everything up, destroys the fucking restaurant, and they rebuild and put everything back together. That's not a great story? I don't know. I'm sorry. I did not pick Ian or Colin. I wanted Zachariah. I wanted Way, and I wanted Megan. And you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? The same thing that always happens. The same thing that always makes me think that this voting bullshit is rigged, but yet I keep going back every year. Right? This is my 5th year I've gotten into this goddamn show. I don't know what it is about this show, but it's got me. It's got me good. I'm in it. motherfuckers are going to pick Ian, right? You're all going to pick Ian, aren't you? I'll be looking forward to Sunday night for the final 3 of American Idol. And I don't care. She could sing fucking Little Spider or Bo Peep's Sheep or what. She could sing whatever the fuck she wants. I'm still going to vote for Megan out of all 3 of these people. So, even though this is late, technically this is the future before American Idol actually airs and shows us who the American Idol will be. My pick, as of right now, is Megan. And I don't know, man. I think I've only gotten 1 out of the last 5 years, and I just keep feeling robbed. When they came back with those fucking results, and they were like, Colin, Ian, and Megan, me and my wife were like, what? When? What song did they sing that was so impressive? I'm telling you, man, this shit is rigged. Megan should win, hands down, don't care. So that's my American Idol thing. But let's get into this. So I was watching Letterkenny, right? And they said that they were talking about the Pizzlies. Pizzlies. Do you know what a Pizzly is? Because I didn't as of 24 hours ago. It is a fucking polar bear and a brown and a grizzly bear mating, making a Pizzly Bear or Pizzly. It's a hybrid spreading across the Arctic thanks to climate change. You take that for what it is. Whatever. They're close in proximity. They're fucking each other. And a polar bear is an absolute monster. The grizzly bear is one of the most dangerous bears out there. It's a monster. And they're mating now. And they are making a Pizzly Bear, which is more ferocious than the 2 of them. What? What? So these things, I mean, look at this thing. It is a fucking grizzly bear coat with that polar bear stare. Holy shit, everybody. This thing is creepy as fuck. And they are brutal. But polar bears are also endangered. Yeah, they're endangered. And they're breeding with grizzly bears, creating the hybrid Pizzly. And it's being driven by climate change, scientists say. You know, you can take the climate change for what it is. Okay, things are melting and now they can connect. Gotcha, whatever. I mean, the world is going to warm no matter what happens, okay, everybody? I'm telling you right now, we can't stop this marble from warming up. We can't. No matter what we do, it's already in motion. You can't pump the brakes on this, and I don't think we can slow it down 1 iota because the damage is done, and half of the damage that we've caused, we can't turn the clock back, everybody. We can't do it. So if the world does go up a 1.5 degrees Celsius, I believe, it's basically over, which sounds so minuscule, but I don't know, whatever. I think it's supposed to happen anyways. As the world warms and the Arctic seas thin, starving polar bears are being driven even further south where they meet grizzlies whose range are expanding northwards. And with the growing contact between the 2 species come more mating, and therefore increased sightings of their hybrid offspring. What is this? With features that could give them an edge in warming northern habitats, some scientists speculate that the Pizzlies, or growlers, could be here to stay. Yeah, no shit, dude. It's a new species. Where do you think it's going to go? It's just going to disappear? No. Let's see. That's 2 minutes and 52 seconds. I do have another article. I'll link both of the articles in the thing, but I wanted to see this. Polar bears and grizzly bears have mated for thousands of years. Really? Huh. And as climate change intensifies, they could evolve into new species. Genetically, polar bears are developed to be in Arctic conditions. However, their population has been affected by changes in the climate. As a result, scientists found that the grizzly bears coming from further south mated with polar bears, modifying their gene pool. As climate change intensifies, this may occur again. And wasn't that a cute little video? Cute. I think it's wild. Right? Wild, man. Wild. I think everything's wild or crazy. I know. I'm ridiculous. Let's see here. So, Sununu backs cannabis legalization under state control. No shit. Finally. Although I do have to do a little bit of a catch up here or update. They did turn the legalization of cannabis down at the House again. That's right. It went through the Senate. It got okayed. They made it to the House. The House fucking denied it. And then 2 days later, this pops up. So let's check this out right now because I want to hear what Sununu has to say. And I will be, I will say right now, no shit. Alcohol is distributed by the state, right? You're not allowed to buy liquor from anywhere except for a New Hampshire state liquor store. We all knew that you were going to do the exact same thing with marijuana. So why won't you do it? Just do it. For Christ's sakes, just fucking do it, okay? But let's hear what he has to say.
It's a major development in the debate over recreational marijuana in the Granite State. Governor Chris Sununu is telling the legislature that if a bill to legalize cannabis under a state control model arrives on his desk, he will sign it. Rather than a wide open market, this would give New Hampshire complete authority over cannabis sales in its own stores, just like it handles liquor. The governor is here in studio to this morning.
Do it!
Governor, thanks for joining us.
You bet. Thank you.
So for many years, Governor, your position has been now is not the time for legalized cannabis. And it doesn't seem like you're particularly enthusiastic about making a change, but you're finding a way to yes. Why is that?
Well, a couple reasons. It's really about harm reduction. You know, one thing I've always looked at is how other states do it, where it works, where it didn't work. And the consistent thing we see in a lot of the other states is they focused on politics. They focused on profit. How much money can we get from this system? And during the opioid crisis, as it's escalated, in New Hampshire, we said, look, now isn't the time. We're going to put our resources into prevention and treatment and recovery. We created the doorway system. We put a lot.
This is 11 minutes long, so we're not going to be able to watch the entire thing. Obviously, the link will be in the description below the video. I'm going to let him speak.
A lot of guidelines and systems in place if and when something like this were to become legalized, we'd be prepared for it. And again, you see the poll numbers. Obviously, the vast majority of folks across the state support it. Whether we like it or not, this is probably inevitable in some way or form. So let's make sure we design a system that focuses on harm reduction as opposed to profits. And when you have the system like our liquor stores, which is very unique in the country, one of the only states that has that, and so therefore we have this amazing tool to control location, to control where it is, how it's marketed, how it's distributed, keeping it away from kids, making sure we don't add a tax to it so we can effectively undercut these cartels that are bringing poly drugs in, right? We have marijuana that's laced with fentanyl in the state right now. So when you add all these pieces up, knowing that it's likely going to happen in some form, let's make sure our form doesn't take the mistakes of other states, the mistakes of the past, and does it in a more modern and, again, harm reduction focused way.
I'm going to cut the video right there. I think I've gotten everything that I needed from that. I'm going to watch it a little bit later, but do it. Just do it. We all knew you were going to do it this way anyways. I mean, who actually thought that it was going to be a free market in New Hampshire? Now, this next one is kind of tying together with this one. Really interesting. No video. I'm just going to read the clip and maybe a short little snippet, but 50 state bankers associations, insurance groups, and top union urge passage of marijuana banking bill. which I find to be awesome, which means you could use credit cards. You could use your bank card. You wouldn't have to use cash anymore. Have you ever been to a dispensary, right? And what you have to do is they're always like, oh, would you like to make a donation? Because I'm using my debit card. Or you can use your card for $1 or whatever, $5 for something random like a lighter, right? And then what you do is you get cash back, right? And say I'm buying an eighth, right? And it's $30, whatever the fucking price is. Then you get the cash back. Now with the cash back, they take whatever the dollar charge was for the lighter, they take that off because you're not actually buying a lighter. And then you pay the remaining balance with the cash, and then you get your pot cookies, your pot drink, and your pot. It's a pain in the ass. It really is. But that's the only way it can be done because none of this money is allowed to go through the banking system. This would change all of that. And I think that's incredible too. That's a great step in the right direction. So I love seeing these walls come down. It's incredible, but New Hampshire needs to fucking get their shit together. All right, one of my favorite subjects, vaping. Check this out, man. I don't know how many people this is going to affect. I don't know how deep this goes, but FDA orders Elf Bar and Esco Bar. I can't believe it's Esco Bar. I know the creator of Esco Bar, and I actually don't want him to suffer. An amazing, amazing guy. Would love to have him on the podcast. Just a complete addict, life going nowhere. Just go. I mean, the thought of him being where he is today was done by nobody. At the time he was falling off that edge, and this guy turned himself around, just kept digging, and finally came up with this disposable Esco Bar. And ever since then, his life is completely changed around. He's a better person. He's a stronger person, and I just don't want to see this China blockage, whatever, crush his industry. But I will have to say he had so many juice companies sign on with him, Noms, Ripe, I mean, so many just sign on, buy his Esco bars, fill them. He had to make special ones for certain companies. I mean, he's made a hand over fist money in the last 3 years. So I hope he's all good now. I hope he sold the company and this isn't his problem. But if it is, that sucks because they are banning. They're barring. Shit, is that worse than banning? Holy shit. FDA orders Elf Bar and Esco Bar imports. It's not barring. It's Esco Bar. Let me say that one more time. FDA orders Elf Bar and Esco Bar imports detained. So they are detaining the shipments from China. May detain without physical examination. So I don't think they're fucking letting them unload. The FDA has ordered its import inspectors to detain shipments of Elf Bar and Esco Bar disposables vapes sent to the U.S. Ports from manufacturers and exporters in China and Korea. The products have been added to an import red list. What? That allows detention of products at the U.S. ports of entry without physical examination. Ugh. Oh my God. Packages identified as containing Elf Bar or Esco Bar products from the red listed shippers can be detained on an assumption that they are unauthorized tobacco products. It is up to the shippers or the manufacturers to prove that the products are legal before they can be removed from the red list and released to continue to their U.S. destinations. The import alert represents current guidance to the FDA field personnel. Holy shit. See, I always knew that this was going to be a problem. I knew it. I knew it. If you are manufacturing your e-juice in America, right? This is how it works, just to let everybody know. When you have an Elf bar, right, or you have an Esco bar, unfortunately, they do not assemble them in the United States of America, right? The batteries, all the manufacturing for the batteries. Now, originally, the Esco bar was made in the U.S. They had to patent it. They had to build it. They had to get it okayed. But then they do what everybody else does, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just what happens. They send your manufacturing over to China. Well, guess what China does? China copies everything because they don't have to abide by copyright law. So they make fake Esco bars. They make fake Elf bars. They make fake fucking Apple stores, okay? Nike stores, not even products, stores, literal stores that you can walk into. You think it's all Apple and it's all fucking fake. Okay? That's real. That's what they do. So they make these fake bars and all these batteries and they're fake, right? And then who's to say that they're not turning around and selling their fake product as your real product? Obviously, you would have to know the difference between the fake and the real. Most of us do not. The juice would be a little different, but here's what they do. The juice is manufactured in the U.S. The batteries are manufactured in China. So they literally have to ship the juice to China. They manufacture the batteries in China. They receive the shipment of juice. Then they take that juice and they fill all those batteries. They assemble them in China with juice and everything else in them. They package them, make them look pretty, bloom, drop them in their cases, drop their cases on a pallet, and then they load them and they ship them back to the U.S. with their juice, with the battery, all together for you to buy at a vape shop. Whoops, I just hit a button. At a vape shop, and then that's how it's done. That's it. So even though all of that has to happen in order for you to have an Esco bar or a Elf bar on your shelf and for you to purchase, they are all done this way. I've bitched and complained about this forever. I told everybody, just jack the price and make them in America, because importing is going to be a fucking issue in the future. I'm telling you, we're going to get to a point where this is going to happen. Here it is. Here it fucking is. March 20th, 2023. I said this a year and a half ago. I said it a year and a half ago when he said he was fucking having so many orders that they couldn't fulfill them anymore. He had to send his manufacturing to China. I said, don't do it. I said, figure it out. Figure it out. Keep it in the United States. Because what if they block everybody from importing these things and you're the only motherfucker in the United States manufacturing and distributing disposables? You win. You win. Well, I guess his demand outgrew his possibilities. So he took this road, and now his disposables have made the paper, which only jumps their popularity. So good and bad, right? Good and bad. I hope he gets off that fucking red list. I hope Elf Bar burns. I played the videos for you people. You saw those manufacturers vaping, just putting their mouth on every single one of those vapes before they slammed them in the bubble packing and then put them in the individual box. I can't say that they're not doing the same thing to the Esco bar, but since I personally know the person that started Esco bar, I want him to succeed. I don't give a shit about Elf Bar. But still, I told him, manufacture in the fucking United States God damn it, he didn't listen to me. He didn't listen to me. All right. And for my next one, woo! I'm going to play the full video on this one. Super, super cool. One of the most detailed videos of the Titanic ever taken. It is 16 terabytes of data to make this video. I mean, anything abandoned, overgrown, forgotten about, deep down in the ocean, just rotting. Oh man, it gives me the creeps. It really does. But this is a phenomenal video of the Titanic.
Shipwrecks in a whole new light. A 3D reconstruction of the Titanic is being revealed, and it aims to teach us more about what led to the ship sinking on its maiden voyage back in 1912. Abby Kugadassan
God,
is in
it's so
London
creepy,
with the
isn't it?
details on this. What an unusual story for you to be covering today, Abby, because some people might wonder,
look at the
why
detail
now and what more can we possibly learn from this new model?
So cool. That's the
Apparently
stern.
a lot,
Oh, that's the
according
back
to the
half,
experts.
right?
We know that this
It's all
wreck was
smashed.
discovered decades ago, but up until now, analysts and historians have not had a full picture of the Titanic.
Oh, you can see the
Now
serial
they can see
number.
every single rivet. This is after a
Whoa.
deep sea mapping company, Magellan, worked with a production company, and they together took about 700,000 images at different angles in the Atlantic, and then they used those images to create the 3D video of the entire ship that you're looking at right now. And you're seeing it as if the water has been drained entirely. It's absolutely fascinating to look at, but it's also quite exciting for historians and analysts because they hope this scan will give them the full picture, the full information they need to figure out what exactly happened in 1912 when the Titanic
Wait a minute,
sank.
wait a minute. What do you mean we need to know exactly what happened? I'll tell you exactly what happened. This said iceberg, the guy said it's unsinkable, we're fine, and he fucking hit it because he thought that it was unsinkable. This is why unsinkable or unbreakable is a bad idea. And since the video's already played, I'm done with the article. But obviously, it will be in the description below the video. It's so crazy to me. But yeah, hey, unbreakable is undestructible. All those words should never be used ever. They just shouldn't. Because anytime you tell somebody that, they go, oh, well, I'm safe, or this won't do this, or this won't. That's why he crashed into the iceberg, because he was told it was unsinkable. So he didn't have to worry about turning. He didn't have to. He's like, this is unsinkable. Well, fucking whatever. I'll push it out of my way. You know? And not for nothing, but, you know, I think we know this now. Maybe they didn't know this as much back then. But when you see a big, giant chunk of ice sticking out of the water, well, again, you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg, right? I mean, that thing fans out. So you see the tip here, boat's coming here. Oh, hey. Oh shit. You're here, right? The iceberg's here, right? Tip of the iceberg, right? And then you're a little tiny boat going here. I mean, it fans out. It's like a mountain. So that's why it sank. That's what happened. How about next time you think about using the word unbreakable or unsinkable, you just don't. You'll avoid all kinds of shit, right? You'll avoid all kinds of shit. So, I think we all know what happened to the Titanic, although seeing it in that great detail, the back of it all smashed up, you know, because that thing broke off, slammed the water, right? Because it was way up in the air, came down, slammed, crumbled the whole thing, and it just sank, and then it crumbled more as it crashed into the bottom of the ocean. Ugh, that gives me the creeps. I mean, drowning is one of my giant fears. That and burning. I think those two ways to die have got to be the absolute worst. I'd rather get shot and bleed out. And then the front half, you know, was, so when the back half broke off, the front half just went down like that. So, I mean, to say that we need to know what happened when they crashed into it, it's like, I mean, it's pretty evident. Don't use those words, and then stupid shit like this wouldn't happen. If they did not think that ship was unsinkable, I bet you he would have turned the bow. I bet you he would have turned. He would have turned, he would have avoided it, and we wouldn't be talking about the Titanic today. Or maybe we would. Maybe we would, because it made it. It was amazing. Best ship ever. Right? That was supposed to be the talk of the town. And then just tragedy. And, hey, move over and let him on the door. There was plenty of room on that door. Plenty of room. He didn't have to freeze. He didn't have to die. You let Leo die. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, shit. All right, everybody. Well, again, I want to say thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you to the new subscribers. Thank you. Keep sharing this thing, all right? The easiest way to do that is go to that link tree, copy, share it. And if you're new, you're checking things out, go click that link tree. It's going to give you access to everything TwT. If you're new to the podcast, subscribe, all right? Remember to subscribe. It's the most important thing you can do. Click, smash, I don't care. Just hit that subscribe button, all right? And get ready for all new shorts, all new videos, all new guests coming soon to the channel. And then, of course, if you want to get more involved with the podcast, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. That's talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. And send your story, all right? Send your story however you want, and send it to the official email of the podcast, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. And just one more thing before I get going. I got Rumble all situated. I found out how to make my files smaller. Rumble will not allow more than 720 quality. So if you want 4K, you still got to go to YouTube or Spotify. But Spotify's where it's at right now. They're not blocking. They don't have any caps on their amount of data I can upload. Same with YouTube, but YouTube has been censoring a lot more with Disney and CNN and all this other shit. So I'm going to do my best to keep everything on YouTube. Spotify will definitely have everything that doesn't go to YouTube. And now Rumble will have everything that Spotify has. So just be on the lookout for all of that. I finally figured it out, and it felt really good to figure it out. So you're welcome. Oh, man. And as always, I hope you enjoy your Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, I will talk to you later.